Good morning, student. Today I will be discussing about the blood group systems. The blood group systems are based on the presence of specific antigens on the blood cells. These antigens are present on red blood cells, leukocytes, platelets, and even in the plasma. RBC antigens are of great importance and these are key to the blood group systems. But before proceeding with the RBC antigens, let me brief something about the leukocyte antigen and the platelet antigens. Importance of the antibodies to the platelet and leukocytes has gained importance in the recent times due to the HLA system and its related major histocompatibility complex. MHC are basically a closely linked polymorphic genes, a set of closely linked polymorphic genes on DNA that code for the cell surface proteins, and these are essential for the adaptive immune system. They mediate interaction of the leukocytes, that is, these are the immune cells of the body, with other leukocytes and with other body cells. They determine the capability of the donor for organ transplantation and also susceptibility to an autoimmune disease. Platelet antigens are grouped into three types: ABO antigens, HLA antigens, and platelet specific antigens. The platelet specific antigens are of following types: glycoprotein 1A, 1B, 2B, 3A. Now these are associated with certain diseases like immune thrombocytopenia, post-transfusion purpura, and neonatal alloimmune thrombocytopenia. ABO antigens will be dealt in details, and HLA antigens I have just briefed you. Now red cell blood group system. There are about 26 blood group systems. The two most important are the ABO system and RH system. Now this is the long list of other blood group system. You can go through them. To name a few are Lewis, Duffy, Kidd, Indian, Landsteiner and Weiner, etc. ABO system is the most important blood group system, so important that a mistake in grouping and transfusion can lead to death of the patient. So discovery of this system was remarkable in the history of mankind, and it was done by Karl Landsteiner in the year 1900, for which he was even awarded Nobel Prize. It is based on the presence of two antigens on the RBCs, A antigen and B antigen. These antigens are formed from a basic antigen called H antigen, which is present in all individuals with a rare exception. The exception blood group is Bombay phenotype, OH. I will discuss it later. So the blood groups in the ABO system are A, B, AB and O. They are chemically polysaccharide by nature, very immunogenic. The difference between A antigen and B antigen is in single glucose molecule. A antigen has N-acetyl galactosamine and B antigen has galactose on the basic H antigen. This is the antigen chemistry. The center box is showing the terminal end of a H antigen that contains galactose and fucose. So the difference in A antigen is that in addition to these two sugars, it also contains N-acetyl galactosamine, whereas the B antigen, in addition to the basic two sugars, galactose and fucose, it contains another molecule of galactose. Antibodies. The antibodies of the ABO system are natural antibodies. They are naturally occurring, that is, they are formed irrespective of any immunogenic stimulus. They are present de novo since birth. They are present in serum or plasma. They are IgM type and have high molecular weight, hence cannot cross the placenta. They react well at 4 degrees centigrade, room temperature, or at 37 degrees centigrade. Something about the genetics of the ABO system. Genes are at three separate loci, ABO, HH and AC. They control the occurrence and location of A and B antigens. Three common alleles A, B and O are located at ABO locus on chromosome 9. The A and B genes encodes for glycosyl transferase that produce A and B antigens respectively. Now the O genes does not code for any functional enzyme. The red cell of persons having O blood group lack A and B antigens, but they carry abundant amount of H antigen, the precursor material on which A and B antigens are built. The genes for two loci, HH and SE, are on chromosome 19. They are closely linked. The SE gene is directly responsible for expression of H, which may then be modified to express A and B antigen on the glycoproteins in the epithelial secretions, such as saliva, if they also have A and or B gene. 80% of the population are secretors. Now, different antigen and antibody in the ABO system. If a person has blood group A, the antigen on the red cells are A and H, and the antibody is anti-B. For blood group B, the antigens are B and H, antibody is anti-A. For AB, the antigens are A, B and H, antibody is no antibody. There is no antibody in the serum. For O, the antigen is only H antigen, whereas the antibody is anti-A and anti-B. This is the difference with Bombay blood group, that is OH phenotype with O. In O, there is H antigen on the red cell, whereas in Bombay phenotype there is no H antigen on the red cells. I will discuss it. Landsteiner laws. These are very important. There are two laws, law 1 and law 2. Law 1, if an individual has an antigen on the red cells, the corresponding antibody should not be present in the plasma. And law 2, if an individual has an antibody in the plasma, the corresponding antigen should not be present on the red cells. Now the concept of universal donors and recipient. O persons, as you all know, have no antigen on the red cells but have anti-A and anti-B antibodies in their sera. So the washed red cells of O person can be given to other blood groups since it is devoid of any antigen. Similarly, on a similar note, AB persons have A and B antigens on the red cell but no antibody on the serum. So AB plasma or serum can be given to other blood groups. Bombay blood group. The term Bombay had been used for a phenotype in which red cells lack H, A and B antigen. It was first discovered in Bombay in the year 1952 by Dr. Y. M. Bende. The symbol OH has been selected to denote the phenotype because results of routine ABO typing test mimics those of group O persons. O blood group has no antigen except H on the RBC and the sera contains anti-A, anti-B. And OH persons have no antigen on the surface, even they lack H antigen, and therefore following a Landsteiner law, the serum contains anti-A, anti-B and H. So the presence of anti-A, anti-B in the sera is similar to that of O blood group. Therefore, the routine blood grouping will mimic phenotypically blood group O. It is only evident during cross-matching. OH red cells are not agglutinated by anti-H, anti-A, anti-B or anti-B reagents because their serum contains strong anti-H, anti-A and anti-B activity. The OH phenotype becomes apparent when the serum from OH is tested against blood group of O red cells. This is done only during cross-matching. So it becomes apparent during cross-matching. The anti-H of OH person reacts over a thermal range of 4 to 37 degrees centigrade with all red cells except those of OH people. So OH persons must be transfused only with those of OH because their non-red cell stimulated antibodies rapidly destroy cells with A, B or H antigens. At the genotypic level, OH phenotype arises from the inheritance of small h at the H locus and SE at the SE locus. So they are non-secretors also. Why ABO grouping is important? ABO compatibility between the donor cells and the recipient serum is essential foundation for pre-transfusion testing. It is the only system with expected antibodies, expected naturally occurring antibodies. So every individual has got some antibodies in their serum of the ABO system. Whether they are IgG or IgM, ABO antibodies are can active complement readily. Hence, they can cause life-threatening situations like transfusion reactions in cases of mismatch, and that may lead to grave complications. The subgroups of ABO system, there are many subgroups. Of clinical importance is only A1 and A2. These are based on the reactivity with human anti-A1 or A1 lactin. The A1 and A2 are classified on this basis. 80% of the population is A1. 1 to 8% of A2 individuals have anti-A1 and 22 to 35% of A2B individuals have anti-A1 antibody in their serum. So now the blood groups become 6 in number: A1, A2, B, A1B, A2B and O. ABO antigens in secretions. The secretors. Secretions include body fluids like plasma, saliva, synovial fluid. ABO blood group substances are soluble antigens A, B and H that can be found in secretion. This is controlled by two genes, H and SE gene. The secretor gene consists of two alleles, capital S small e and small s small e. The SE gene is responsible for expression of H antigen on glycoprotein structures located in the body fluid. If the SE allele is inherited as capital S small e or capital S small e SE, the person is called secretor. 80% of the population are secretors. Secretors express soluble forms of H antigen in secretions that can be converted to A or B antigens by transferases. Individuals who inherit the smallest SE gene are called non-secretors. The SE allele is an amorph. Therefore, SE individuals do not convert antigen precursors to H antigen and has neither soluble H antigen nor soluble A or B antigens in the body fluids. How the genes are written, note that. Rh system. The first human example of antibody against the D antigen was reported in 1939 by Levin and Stetson. 1 year after, in the year 1940, Landsteiner and Weiner also discovered it. About 85% of human population are Rh positive. After the ABO system, the ABO antigens, the D antigen of the Rh system has most significant implication for transfusion practice. The Rh system also contains other clinically significant antigens like capital C, E, small c and E. Excuse me. Rh system is most complex genetically of all the blood group types since it involves 45 different antigens on the surface of the red cells. Capital C, D and E antigens are found on chromosome 1. There are two possible alleles at each locus, small c and capital C, small d or capital D and small e or capital E. Clinical significance. Persons whose red cells lack the D antigen do not regularly have the corresponding antibody. Therefore, the Rh system do not have any naturally occurring antibody as in ABO system. Now, formation of anti-D antibodies almost always results from exposure by transfusion or pregnancy to red cells possessing the D antigen. So, formation is always immunogenic by nature. The D antigen has greater immunogenicity. 80% of the D negative person who receive D positive transfusion are expected to develop anti-D. Despite its genetic complexity, the inheritance of the trait usually can be predicted by two alleles, capital D and small d. Individuals who are homozygous dominant, that is capital D, or heterozygous, capital D, small d, are Rh positive, and those who are homozygous recessive, that is small d, are Rh negative. Patients with DU phenotype are Rh positive, and this is the weaker variant of D, that is DU. DU is less immunogenic than D, and it seldom causes immunization when given to D individuals. The weaker variant of the D antigen of Rh type is known as DU. Most D positive red cells show clear-cut macroscopic agglutination after centrifugation with reagent anti-D and can be classified as D positive. However, this weaker variant needs prolonged incubation with anti-D reagent or addition of antiglobulin serum after incubation with anti-D. So two more steps need to be done for identification of this weaker variant, that is either prolonged incubation with anti-D reagent, you may get positive result with this. Even negative, then you proceed with addition of antiglobulin serum after incubation with anti-D. However, nowadays with the use of monoclonal anti-D reagents, many D positive patients are picked up compared to with older reagents. What is the significance of identification of this weaker variant? Transfusion of such red cells with weak expression may elicit an immune response to D. So this has to be kept in mind. Now, laboratory testing of ABO and Rh blood groups. Forward grouping. The principle is reaction of the patient red blood cells with reagent anti-A and anti-B and anti-AB sera is done. Three methods are there: the slide method, tube method, and the matrix gel card method. In the slide method, it should always be confirmed with a tube test. Principle: red cells from the specimen are tested for unknown A or B antigens by using known reagent anti-sera, that is anti-A and anti-B. Specimen is usually a capillary blood from finger prick or venous blood collected in EDTA anticoagulant. Anti-A and anti-B anti-sera are usually monoclonal in nature, free from any infectious agent, and these are obtained by hybridoma technology. Usually color coding is available. Anti-A is blue colored, anti-B is yellow colored, anti-AB is colorless. With the use of a monoclonal variant, the third antibody or anti-sera, anti-AB is not required. Now 0.1% sodium azide is added as a preservative to these containers, and it is stored at 2 to 8 degrees centigrade in a refrigerator. This is the method for blood grouping. I hope you all have done this in your practical class. To recapitulate, divide a clean and a dry glass slide into three segments and label it as anti-A, anti-B and control. Control, to set a control, it is very important. Okay, it is set with normal saline. It helps to rule out any auto agglutination, presence of any cold agglutinins in the patient. Okay. And there are also some other causes of it. You can go through your book. Now, place 1 drop of anti-A and 1 drop of anti-B in their respective segments and 1 drop of normal saline in C. To it, then add a well mixed 1 drop of anticoagulated blood in each of the three segments. Now, mix with separate stick for each section. Mix the blood with the reagent with stick. Use separate stick for each section. By tilting the slide from side to side, you can look for agglutination, but first wait for exactly 2 minutes before looking for agglutination. In case of positive result, you will see small clumps of red cells floating in a clear fluid, and for negative result, you will see uniform suspension of red cells. As I have said, slide test is a crude method. It is a preliminary method, and the results of it should always be confirmed by cell and serum grouping by tube method. This is the interpretation. If you get agglutination in anti-A, A antigen is present. If you get A antigen is present, so blood group is A. If you get agglutination in only B, so it is blood group B due to the presence of B antigen. If you are getting agglutination in both, then both A and B antigens are present. It is blood group AB. If no agglutination in both, then no antigen is present. It is blood group O. Tube technique. For tube technique, you have to prepare a 2 to 5% suspension of RBC in normal saline. Take 3 test tube, add 1 drop of anti-A in one, 1 drop of anti-B in one, and 1 drop of normal saline in other. To it, you add 1 drop of cell suspension. To all the 3 test tubes, you add 1 drop of 2 to 5% or 5% cell suspension. Now centrifuge at 1000 rpm for 1 minute after proper mixing. Gentle mixing should be done, otherwise hemolysis will occur. Now after centrifugation for 1000 rpm for 1 minute, observe for agglutination. Reverse grouping. The principle behind it is reaction of the patient serum containing unknown antibodies are tested against known group A and group B red cells. Okay. Similar 3 methods are available: the slide method, tube method, and matrix gel card method. RH typing. Routine RH typing for donors and patients involves only D antigen. Tests for other RH antigens are performed only for certain defined purposes, like if you are suspecting any unexpected RH antibodies, obtaining compatible blood for a patient with RH antibody, investigating any disputed parentage. Nowadays, monoclonal anti-D reagents have become widely available. Slide test will produce optimal result only when high concentration of red cells and proteins are combined at 37 degrees centigrade. Tube test is the better method. Tube test, place 1 drop of anti-D serum in a clean test tube. To it, 1 drop of 2 to 5% cell suspension of the red cell is added, mixed properly. Okay, and you centrifuge it at 1000 rpm, okay, for 30 to 45 seconds. Gently resuspend the cell button and formed at the bottom of the tube and examine for agglutination. Agglutination in anti-D tube indicates that is red cell in the tube are D positive, and if it has a smooth suspension, it represents D negative blood group. Cross matching. This is very important. It is used to determine compatibility of the donor and the recipient's blood to check for, that is to check for hemolysis or any agglutination if they are mixed, the donor and recipient's blood. The reason is recipient or donor may have some unusual antibodies in the serum, so this test is mandatory, and to avoid or to rule out any technical error in reading or recording or RH and ABO blood grouping. Cross matching is of 2 types: major cross match and minor cross match. Major cross match, donor red cells are mixed with recipient serum. For minor cross match, donor's serum is mixed with recipient's red cell. Now prepare a 5% cell suspension of the patient and donor cells in 2 separate test tubes. For major cross match, in a test tube add 2 drops of patient serum and 1 drop of donor cells. For minor cross match, in a test tube add 2 drops of donor serum and 1 drop of patient's red cells. The red cells here means red cell suspension. Now mix the contents, keep the tubes at room temperature for 30 minutes, then centrifuge at 15,000 rpm for 1 minute and look for agglutination. If there is no agglutination, you can safely proceed for your blood transfusion. Hemolytic disease of newborn. This is very important topic. It is a disease in which destruction of the red cells of the fetus or newborn occurs due to passage of maternal antibodies across the placenta into the fetal circulation. The production of these maternal antibodies is stimulated due to blood group incompatibility between the mother and the fetus. Pathogenesis. Rh hemolytic disease of newborn develops when a Rh negative mother who is previously sensitized to Rhd antigen carries a Rhd positive fetus. The usual causes of sensitization of Rh negative mother to D antigen are previous pregnancy or past Rhd positive blood transfusion. During pregnancy, most common cause of maternal immunization is feto-maternal hemorrhage that occurs at the time of separation of placenta during delivery. The clinical presentation is variable. There may be only mild anemia or jaundice. In some cases, there is severe unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia. Jaundice is rapidly progressive. It develops within 24 hours of birth. Damage to basal ganglia leads to kernicterus, which may be fatal, or it may cause severe neurological deficit in a surviving newborn. In its most severe form, Rh hemolytic disease of newborn manifests as fresh stillbirth or as hydrops fetalis. Most of the hydropic fetuses perish in utero. If the hydropic infant has live birth, it shows severe anemia, hepatosplenomegaly, ascites, and anasarca. Laboratory features: the investigations you should carry out. For maternal investigations, clinical history. Careful evaluation of the history and supervision is needed in mothers having similar previous past history. Blood grouping, ABO and Rh typing should be done. If red cells of mother test negative for D antigen, then test for weaker variant of the Rh, DU, should be carried out. Antibody detection, this needs to be performed in all pregnant women on first antenatal checkup, irrespective of their Rh status, by indirect Coombs test. Blood grouping of the father. Father's ABO and Rh grouping should also be done. It helps in knowing the likely blood group of the fetus and also the chance of ABO incompatibility between the mother and the fetus. Fetal investigations. Severity of hemolysis can be assessed by measuring the concentration of bilirubin in amniotic fluid or in the fetal blood. And the severity can also be judged from previous obstetric history and maternal anti-D titer. Investigations in newborn, blood grouping is mandatory, and cell grouping should be done because the antibodies in the blood of a newborn are passively acquired from the mother. So only forward grouping is recommended. Now, blood smear. Here you may find features of hemolysis like nucleated red cells, erythroblastosis, and polychromasia, that is reticulocytosis. Direct antiglobulin test, that is direct Coombs test, is to be done in newborn. If there is strong reactivity, it indicates incompatibility between the red cell antigens of the fetus and antibodies in the mother. Determination of hemoglobin and bilirubin concentration. It assesses severity of the disease. Cord blood hemoglobin value of less than 12 gram per deciliter or indirect bilirubin value of more than 5 mg per deciliter in cord blood is an indication for immediate exchange transfusion. Post-delivery maternal investigations. Repeat the ABO and Rhd grouping, antibody screening by indirect antiglobulin test, and Betke-Kleyhorst test to assess the amount of feto-maternal hemorrhage. This Betke-Kleyhorst test, it assesses the amount of fetal hemoglobin in maternal blood, that is an indirect indication of feto-maternal hemorrhage. How to prevent this hemolytic disease of newborn? After delivery, all Rhd negative women are given Rh immunoglobulin within 72 hours of delivery of Rhd positive infant. During antenatal period, all the D negative pregnant women are given Rh immunoglobulin intramuscularly at 28 weeks and 34 weeks of gestation. If the infant is Rhd positive, then the dose of anti-Rh immunoglobulin is also repeated after delivery. Following any sensitizing event during pregnancy, Rh immunoglobulin is to be given to all Rh negative women. For this disease, prevention is better than cure. Thank you.